Kuni hikamau nai kalai. O vai ale ale la I vai lua. Huki alai kalani ka papa au vai a ka vai kini. Ala ia ela e no no. Nā loka ipuha a ka lau la mau ka o ka pae. Mai paa I ka leo heo le ka hea mai. E kumamaloko
Aloha, my friends, and welcome to Maui. More specifically, the Kahua Omailio Bamboo Retreat, a paradise for ecotourists. This place is 100% off the grid, self-sustaining. They are environmentally conscious to the bone here. And I've also heard that one can reach a little bit of spiritual enlightenment. Today we're going to take a tour of their entire facility, maybe do a little meditating, and who knows what else. So this is the home of Kutira and Raphael, the people that made this whole place happen. Hello. Hello. Aloha.
Aloha, Mitch. Nice meeting you.
I'm Mitch. Nice to meet you very much.
Welcome.
And Raphael, I assume. How are you? And may I come in?
Yes, please.
Thank you very much. I'll take the shoes off because that's the Hawaiian thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, very traditional.
Very good. Okay, well, I guess let's see what's inside. Nice.
My name is Kutira de Coster, and as you probably detect right away, I have an accent. I'm originally from Switzerland. I'm born and raised in Switzerland and left Switzerland, traveled through Asia and got very inspired in Asia on many, many things, especially the spiritual path, and ended up in Hawaii. And Hawaii at that point really was the melting point of East and West. And I fell in love with Maui. I came at the point where I started to feel, I have maybe a need of settling down. I was about 28. And when this land was for sale, which was just purely by the grace of spirit, I was able with two other beloved friends of mine to buy the land. But lo and behold, this land was just a piece of jungle. Believe me, Mitch, when I made that phone call home to my family in Switzerland and I say, I'm buying a piece of land in the jungle, they really thought I'm crazy. I'm nuts. They say, what? No roads, no electricity, no water. Are you out of your mind? What do you want to do with this kind of land?
Work.
Nature at work, Bobby. We're getting here. Oh God, now I'm caught with my hair. Did it.
Wow. Did you guys clear in here?
Okay, do you think we're gonna make it?
I know we can
Right
make it.
straight through here. As long as we get out on the other side,
Yeah,
I know.
this is a little trail right here.
All right.
This kind of comes right out at the top one.
Must be.
That circle is beautiful in there.
Nice, huh? Oh, really? This is a trail? Oh, and here it is.
Yeah.
The property line. We found it. The searcher. So finally, my friend, we bought the land together. We had the idea we need to put a road on. And it just happens when the bulldozer came, we both were in San Francisco. And we got a phone call, the bulldozer is on the land, so where's the road going in? And we were quite surprised, you know, we were not even here. And he says, oh, we like to have a road from the top down to the ocean. We got that road. And when we came home, I was in shock because it felt like we scarred the land. And we did not know what we were doing. And the road, which costed us at that time $15,000, which was a lot of money at that time, was taken back by the jungle within 2 years. So we learned that this is not the way to do it. We need to listen. We need to listen to the land, what the land wants. I wouldn't be here if I would not have had the opportunity in young age to explore the spiritual path. Many spiritual practices have shown me that first you find out about yourself. You meditate, you learn some of the beautiful teachings from many different cultures and religion, and find out in the beginning, okay, it's all about me, who I am, why I'm here, what is my purpose in life, where do I go? And as you start to sort it out more and more and finding new ways of going deeper within yourself, you come to that place that you're not alone, that you are connected to the greater, and you start to experience the interconnectedness. The earth is not separate from you. The water, the air, they're part. And if you have good quality of water, earth, and air, and know it nurtures you back, you become interested to nurture the environment as well.
When Katir and I got this land, it was all jungle. It was all just weeds and jungle and everything. Katir, as well as I, just walked the land, letting the land talk to us and tell us what the land wanted.
And so what I did, I nurtured it. I made a pact with the earth. I say, I'm going to give everything what I can give to you so that later you can give back to me. And beside buying the land with my friends at that time, I remember my very first money I put out at that time was for $5,000 a pile of manure. There was nothing on here, just a pile of manure and a chainsaw. But boy, this land had its own magic and its own path.
I just want, this is a good little area to know on the land. We brought the bulldozer up in here, and we had talked earlier about clearing around this spot. And Katira knew that there was a beautiful place up in here, and after I went around with the dozer, I really felt something incredibly powerful. So I just came in here, got my clothes off, took out my saw and went to it and uncovered this whole thing. As you can see, there's definitely some sacred energy here. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So this has to be undisturbed. That's the hay on the land.
Yeah, lovingly pruned out.
Really, lovingly
Isn't that
pruned
gorgeous?
out and thinned
Yeah.
out and made to be really incredible. And
Yeah.
just keep this area as the place that is just one just special. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, it's like
having your own little amazing?
bonsai forest.
I know, it's amazing. And these rocks have, the patina on them. They've been here for a long time, They're beauties. Isn't it amazing?
And from the very beginning, the land was for me something that, even though I didn't live on it, something that helped me, that was inside of me, that helped lift me in the dark moments. So I didn't actually have to be living on it to have it, but I knew I was taking care of it. And over the years, it's grown into many, many things. From the very beginning, the Buddhist center was on it, and I liked that. I'm not a Buddhist, but Buddhism has sort of followed me around and courted me. So the land arrived, and I was thrilled at the idea of having a silent retreat center on the land, which is what it was for quite a few years.
So the land came with the Dharma retreat, built in honor of Kalu Rinpoche. And the resident Lama in town was Lama Tenzin. And he invited me to stay in the Dharma center to get to know the land better. I first was not quite sure if this is the right move, because I'm not a Dharma practitioner, and I knew there were really serious Dharma practitioners who did retreats here. But I took his offer, and he even gave me his larger room. And for a year, I stayed in this Dharma center retreat, and I was exempt of getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and starting to do puja. Om Mani Padme Hum, I could sleep in. There were strict Dharma rules though. But what I learned during the time I was out here, to listen to the land and to get a feeling of the magic. And it influenced me that deeply, because here was a place where spirit was honored, where the teaching was honored, where spirituality was the center. And suddenly having a place where the people came for worship, for praying, made me aware how this was not just this building here, it was the entire land. The entire land had this vibration of sacredness. So it certainly influenced me. The very first 2 buildings we actually built, the first one was the music temple. The music temple is a lovely little temple who was originally built in Bali, and a friend approached me and says, "Oh, wouldn't it be nice to have this little Balinese temple on your property?" And of course my reaction was right, I don't need a temple right now. I need a tool shed, or I need something I can start to work my land, and I'm not going to spend any money on a temple. And he says, "How about if you pay me with all the music you have created with your husband, Raphael, and a ritual you perform for us, and you get that temple?" Well, at that moment I thought, wow, that's a pretty good deal. Maybe the land needs a temple first. So the very first thing we actually built was a beautiful music temple.
What is a wild spiritual musician like me doing building temples and building a farm? The one gift being on this land gave to me as a musician is it showed me essence. It showed me what is important in life.
Great Raphael is not used to hard labor.
It showed me what is real. And from there, that went into my music. And therefore, essential results happen.
And the second little building was a small building which is just about 6 by 6 foot, you know, in the pyramid shape. We call it the Love Temple, where we had the possibility to come and stay overnight if we wanted to stay and had a little shelter. So we had a Love Temple and a music temple. And the name of the land is Kahua o Malio. And at that time I had no idea what means Kahua Malio. And when I looked it up in the official Hawaiian dictionary, it says, this is a place of happiness dedicated to the mythical woman who is renowned for her love, magic, and music. And there we go. That was the name of the land. And there we go. First we put 2 temples to honor the land. And that set the tone of the entire land, how we developed it, to listen to spirit, to listen to the trees, to listen to the earth, what they want.
There is something about this place. I say something because I can't explain it. This land seems to sniff out your emotional state of mind and amplify it 100 times. A slight crack of a smile can turn into utter bliss. This land is like standing on the pulse of Mother Earth. But instead of being this benevolent force, Mother Earth is like all life that struggles here. These realizations of ultimate insignificance ground the imagination's desire to wander in the dizzying and fabulous scope of possibility.
ia ela I kalani ga papa aua ia ka waikini. Ala ia ela e nunu na lo ka ipua ka laula mau ka o ka pae. Mai paai ka leo he ole ka hea mai e kumu maloko. E ai ke kanaki e kumu maloko e hana ia o ia he papaha e ia no kukula uka leo. A he leo ale no e Come on, Mai. Please come inside. Welcome inside.
So I developed the entire land with that consciousness of like, how can we do it sustainable? How can we become a place where people can learn? And believe me, the one part which was really challenging for me of people would ask me, when are you moving out to your land? Don't you have a piece of land? Are you just doing landscaping out there? Don't you want to build something? Are you still renting somewhere a place? I say, yeah, I do, but not yet there. I don't have a phone line. I don't have electricity. I'm going slow. There was a part in me who was scared to move out on a place which is off the grid. Now, what was the fear I had? The fear for me was, wow, what's going to happen if suddenly the electricity goes out? Do I sit in the dark? Do I have to look for candles? What happens if the water goes out? I can't flush my toilet anymore? Oh my God, can I really create all of that and know I will not run into problem? I will be able to maintain it? Finally, I made that step to come and live out here and say, I'm going to try it. I have to try it. And I want to see. I had to wind myself down from all the amenities which the county gives you. But I also didn't have to write a check anymore to the electricity company. I didn't have to pay any water. I didn't have those expenses, but I had other big expenses to create this sustainable. I call it my paradise. And I have to give many respect to my husband, Raphael, who's very sensitive when it comes to noise, when it comes to energy. And he always said to me, let's go there. You know, when we are off the grid, there is a certain feeling which you can't get when you're always around the buzzing energy. That electromagnetic field is always around. And when you come to a place where that is suddenly cut out, your entire body relaxes. So I got the first benefit right away of feeling, oh, I'm really here. I could feel Mother Earth. I could feel this is the land. Now I have to learn to be in harmony with the land.
Man, I love this place. This is why you get off the beaten track as a traveler. Right here is a 300-foot waterfall. Over here is like the coolest natural swimming hole I've ever seen. It is a little hot today, so I'm really looking forward to jumping in the water. Welcome to the Hawaiian way of life.
Well, I'm married to Katira. My wife is a Swiss Virgo. She is not afraid of details. And her parents were raised in World War II, where you were lucky to get an egg a week and so forth. So my wife has a deep sense of honoring the details and honoring the food we have. Now, I come from the United States, and that's where everything's disposable. Disposable diapers, disposable plates, disposable wives, it just goes on and on. And so I learned from my wife the caring of the earth in great detail. But we Westerners have to surrender to the details. Like if there's any food that we can't eat anymore, we give it to the chickens. We're always looking, we turn off the lights whenever we're not using them. When we have guests here from the mainland, that's the hardest thing for them to remember. When they leave the room, they turn off the lights. But sustainability does have a lot to do with constantly loving the earth. It almost forces you to have compassion. It makes you into an attitude of service. So from my old Oklahoma cowboy way of looking at it, it is in honoring the details, the little things. For a lot of scientists are telling us that the best way of dealing with energy is energy conservation.
So sustainability is important, is vital at this time. It always seems like the answer. And thank God there's so many young, vital, vibrant, awake souls that hear this in the core of their being and almost can't do anything other than that as they are able to understand it. So this community is a place where people can begin to understand. And not in a Western driving, now you gotta push, push, push to learn this new way of being in the Western technological rhythms. No, not at all. But where you sink down, and first you feel the spirit of the land, and then you begin to grow with her.
How we are running our retreat center or our place here, we needed solar panels, we needed big batteries, and we also needed a generator which is using biodiesel, which is fuel made from vegetable oils and runs much cleaner than the petroleum or the ones from the fast-growing sources such as corn and sunflower and hemp oil.
Okay, so Raphael, please tell me, what are these structures behind us right here?
Okay, what we have here is a concrete soundproof building that holds a electrical generator. It's an old Desert Storm electrical generator. It runs off of diesel, and it also runs off of biodiesel.
So when you do get the fuel for it, are you usually getting your fuel for the generator from fast food restaurants? Is that where you get it mostly?
There's a biodiesel company that goes through all the restaurants here, collects it, and then we buy it from them.
Excellent.
Only problem with that thing is when it runs, it smells like French fries around here.
Well, that's not too bad.
But it's less polluting on our land.
Absolutely.
It's cleaner air.
Cool.
So we're pretty happy with it.
Well, I can see why.
Mm-hmm.
We're probably going to have very, very soon a wind tower because the technology is now getting ripe where we could invest in it, and I think that would be the perfect marriage of our solar system with the wind tower to always have enough, and that means we would need less the generator because sometimes the winds are strong and no sun, and sometimes the sun is there, so that would be perfect. We needed water, we have catchment, we have every house on a catchment system. So none of the rain who comes down will be wasted. We catch them right away in ponds and other catchment containers. We have a well, which is 450 feet deep into the aquifer, which is absolute delicious water, and we have enough water. When you travel a lot, and I did travel a lot, and that was amazing, that opened up my eyes, that made me who I am, going to places where the culture is so different than coming from Switzerland, where everything is precision, squeaky clean. And then you go to Asia and you see a very colorful world and spices and smells and everything completely different, down to the religion. As I traveled really many, many years in Asia, I was impressed about the lumber of bamboo. And you see a scaffolding out of bamboo, you think that's going to fall down any minute. And then you find out they even use the bamboo to build inside and plaster over. You're like, oh my God, are they crazy? And then you find out they're not crazy. They have a resource of a renewable lumber, which is not taking away from our earth, and we're not cutting down the rainforest.
Bamboo is literally the housing that is being used for almost 1 billion people on the planet. I mean, very few people realize that, but it's always used in low-income, very renewable situations, but also situations where people use it for as long as it lasts and then it is replaced, and they have plenty of time to do that.
And I was always wondering, why does the Hawaiian don't build with bamboo? When you travel in India or in Thailand or even South America, you see or Vietnam, entire villages built out of bamboo, and they have the same climate or similar climate like what we have here.
We've been putting together a common dream that neither one of us really knew completely at the time, but we really step by step have moved towards a very sustainable alternative using a material called bamboo. And we both decided that bamboo had a lot of potential and a lot of possibilities at that time. And we created the very first structures here just for survival. And when Katira and myself and all of us kind of mold this over together, we decided that this land would become the first place that we would consider, putting a prototype together that could be a model for the world.
A lot of people don't know how amazing bamboo is. Let me just tell you a couple facts about it. It's harvested every 3 to 5 years versus 10 to 50 years it takes for most other timber. It's the fastest growing plant on this planet. Some species can grow 4 feet a day. The yield or weight per acreage in year is 25 times higher than timber. It's harvested with no impact on the environment, one of the strongest building materials, and its tensile strength equals that of steel. The weight to strength ratio surpasses graphite, and bamboo can withstand 52,000 pounds of pressure per square inch.
I was the first one who brought an entire container of 40,000 bamboo poles from Vietnam into Hawaii to build a house, because at that time Hawaii didn't have the lumber of bamboo. The plant was not here. It has been very challenging for the Western mind to adapt to the thought that you could work with bamboo. I remember for the first time we had to bring in an engineer from Holland who really knew a lot about the engineering strengths of bamboo, how strong bamboo can be. And he came from the university in Holland to Hawaii, and the planning department came actually to a class where he was able to educate them, because they didn't even know how to measure bamboo. And all of those are steps we had to do first before we could build our house. But I was determined that this is the way to go. Now, at this point, we have over 60 permitted bamboo houses in the islands of Hawaii. They're beautiful, and they are becoming even very famous among people who care very, very much for the environment, and starting to invest in building with bamboo.
Aloha, eo mai kanu. Aloha, eo mai kanu. Mekea. Aloha, eo mai kanu. Mekea. Aloha, eo mai
is an architect here, David Sands, on the island. And we decided, and also a third architect actually, Ariane Ocean, all the three of us brought ourselves together, and coming to the tropics in the Hawaiian Islands, it seems kind of natural that people should be able to at least have the opportunity to stay in a little bamboo house someplace, right? The classic Gilligan Island, sort of scene of where you can be really comfortable and be working with a material that's very sustainable. Everyone knows, hands down, that it creates more biomass in less time than a deciduous tree. And it's the fastest growing plant there is on the planet. It is, I always, am most impressed with the fact that it's the quickest green connection between earth to heaven. So bamboo has, of course, all the qualities that we've discussed and we know about in many forms. And so now there's the mission to bring it forward into the world in a way that every person, every being that has a desire to contact and use it as part of their quest to tap into a sustainable planet is able to do that. So bamboo is going to be that place for certain people. And we have, hundreds of people who can attest to that at this point, and many, many thousands more who are desiring it. So I feel like now it's time to simply see it through to the plantation stage and come into people's lives on a smaller scale, on a workshop level, on a small factory level, to create environments that include bamboo. Not only in their living environment to live inside, but just growing around them, whether it's ornamental, whether it's for growing for shoots so that they can eat them for their lunch and dinner, or whether it's to create some privacy for their own little Garden of Eden that they're living in. Since the day we've started, we've always been able to equal the cost of a bamboo house to a wood house of similar square footage and ground coverage. Yet the thing that a bamboo house has always had that was way above and beyond that is the ethereal and the aesthetic qualities that a wood house has nowhere near, unless you spend 4 or 6 or 8 times as much to try and get all this beauty and the hand craftsmanship and the feel of wood products that have been enhanced by craftsmanship. Bamboo has that built into its natural form.
just recently in Bhutan, and Bhutan is one of the last amazing biodiversity country, you know, like where the nature is in balance with the people's use. I'm very impressed, and I have been there for many, many times, and I feel really it's a country who we can learn a lot. The king has put 70% of the forest into the constitution that they cannot cut down the forest. Now, population is growing. The needs for housing is growing.
Katira brought David and I to Bhutan 3 years ago in order to introduce bamboo to a country that had plenty of it growing and even had bamboo structures there, yet they really have a core value system that is driving them to be very, very conscious of the sustainability, environmental movement, and green agriculture.
In Bhutan, they have an amazing forest of bamboo. They have not used up till now their bamboo, and they are now starting to explore their bamboo, which we identified as perfect bamboo for construction.
When we went over there the 3 years ago to introduce the ways that we were using bamboo, and they looked at their species and traveled through the countryside and really came up with a lot of factual information that allowed them to make the decision to move forward and really start creating some government policies that would include bamboo in their building systems.
And the Minister of Agriculture, I just got an email from him a few days ago that they are actually now bringing more awareness and finding ways to use the bamboo to offset the cutting down of their forest and be able to maintain their 70% forest.
And then they had an earthquake there about 3-4 weeks ago that demolished 1,000 homes, and there weren't too many deaths, thank God, from it. But there were about 3,500 homes that were severely affected by it all together that needed some kind of work. So they decided it was time. That bamboo, they know that bamboo has at least 3 or 4 like factual studies that have been done in countries where earthquakes have happened, and the bamboo houses actually were the only ones to survive. And even in Bhutan, in this area, there were maybe a dozen bamboo homes built out of bamboo and mud walls that were completely unharmed, that worked through the earthquake completely, and there wasn't a thing that happened to them. So that raised a lot of eyebrows, and we went there. We went over there, myself, another architect from India, and we assessed the situation and started a program that's in action as we speak. So we are working with, setting up treatment systems and straightening systems and harvesting systems to bring bamboo that's going to last them for a while. They're very interested in seeing the beauty that's contained here in the homes that we've created here on this land. So this last earthquake was a real wake-up call to decide on using a material that has been proven to be earthquake-proof. I mean, there's no seismic load that can shake a bamboo house down because it has an inherent flexibility to it that will always go with the flow, as they say. So here we are today, and extremely grateful that we've actually made the undertaking, gone forward to the point where now it's become a worldwide movement, and it really started here. Literally the seedlings were planted and the first poles were set in concrete. I feel like we've been really fortunate in setting our heart and soul on a goal that is really become a reality today.
Now, what my wife Katira and I have done with this land is we've turned it into a pristine organic farm. And we've allowed kids in their young, early 20s to come and learn the latest in organic farming and energy independence. And we've allowed this land to become a legal bed and breakfast.
We have our entire land set up as an organic farm. That means everything what we use is biodegradable. And when we got the land, it was declared as number E, classified as E. Now, A is the best. That's when your soil is top, and E is the worst. Now, we battling here the worst soil and strong winds. And now we are rejuvenating to actually recondition the soil. And the worms we have are fabulous. So we, for example, anything that comes from the kitchen goes to the worm culture. Okay, now as you know everything about recycling, let me show you some of the most important, the compost in your kitchen.
Sure, yeah.
So every guest we have is going through that
Okay.
teaching because you need to know how we going to deal with our leftovers. And that's why you choose to stay in a sustainable place, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, here you see these are two compost pockets. One says no eggs, meat. And
So meat is not good for the compost. then?
yeah,
Okay.
we don't want to put meat in our
Okay.
compost. And the eggshells go in here.
Okay.
You may wonder why are we separating the eggs out. Two
Yeah.
reasons. The eggs take very long to compost,
Mm-hmm.
but so once that's full, you know, we collect them in here, the
Yeah.
eggshell, we dry them out,
Yeah.
and once they're really dried, we take them to our coffee grinder and make that fine dust.
Oh yeah.
And that fine dust.
That's all eggshell right there?
Yeah, and
That's-
what is
that's pretty
eggshell? Calcium. Now,
Alright.
when we put the rest in the normal compost, which we don't want to give to our worms. Our worms are the gourmet worms. We give them the salad, the organic, everything what's more alive. We don't give them dead food, such we don't, no cheese, no milk, no dairy products, nothing of that, no carbohydrates, no cooked foods. Now, coming to our worm station, the week
All right.
So Mitch, here, this is our wormiculture, and as you can see,
Yeah.
this is like from our pond. This,
Oh wow.
And we're gonna feed them. And if you look down in here, there you see all the wormies. See here?
Oh yeah, look at that. Oh my, there's a ton of them.
Yeah, and that's what we're gonna feed now.
So what do the worms do to the soil exactly?
I'm gonna show you. They're going to eat everything and poop, and we want their casting, what they come out. You see how everything is in here?
Is the casting like their waste essentially?
Yeah, I show you the earth, what they make out of it. Yeah.
So
See here, a whole group
wow,
of
there's a
little
ton of
babies.
them.
Let me show you.
Okay, take that.
We're gonna feed them now.
Okay, this is all of our food scraps and all that stuff that we got from the kitchen.
Yes, and now you can see, there's papayas
Wow.
and banana peels. And there is even some paper, which is totally fine. I will explain you right away because we're gonna put actually more paper on it.
Yes, I'm surprised to see paper. Like, why is paper in there?
Oh, they love paper.
Oh, no
You
kidding.
can compost your paper trash bags. So now you see there is some avocados and mostly all what then some soybeans. So that's all fine. But now we're gonna give them a little bit more.
Okay.
And first of all, how about calcium?
These are from our eggshells, right?
Yeah.
Our little eggshell powder. Okay, we just take a little like that and we just kind of spread it around like this, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Perfect.
Okay, that's some happy worms.
Yes, and now we're going to give them even a bit more.
Okay, let's get the paper then. All
Yeah.
right.
And you know, this one is all from the office, paper shredding.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, so basically you take your office paper
Yeah,
and you shred it.
We shred it, but because we don't want to give them just dry paper, we
Yeah.
put a little bit water on it
Okay.
and make it soaky.
So, all right,
So you
so
can
just push that in like this.
Squeeze it really good.
Okay. Okay, and then just toss it in there, just kind of throw it around.
Yeah, you can kind of like fill it up, you know. So that's a good way for us to recycle and make food out of it of our office
Yeah, this is
leftovers, right?
So these are just papers that you had from just leftover that you wanted to get, you know,
Yeah, you can put it
instead
in
of
one.
throwing them away, you're actually using them to feed your worms.
Yes, and of course we're not just giving them paper.
Yeah.
Even they can eat a lot of paper. You would be surprised how much
Yeah,
they love
I had
it.
no idea that they would eat paper, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, we also gonna give them anything what we can find on the land when you weed or
Yeah.
when you cut your grass or
Absolutely.
anything. The next step now is to get the thing out.
Okay, so
You can crank.
crank this or.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, it's a little hard, but.
And we have mochi around here too.
Okay. Yeah.
So, you see here,
Yeah, that. So we just essentially made dirt then.
yes, this here. Now this is our harvest we get out.
Wow.
Look, this is the worm casting. That's called the black gold.
So we
We're
just
gonna-
created soil.
Yes,
basically. We just
we-
created super rich soil just by throwing organic food waste and yard
Yeah.
waste into this container.
And here is your paper
Unbelievable.
into earth.
Yeah, not to mention office paper.
Yes, correct.
Yes, that's I had no idea that that was even possible to do, to tell you the truth.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And you can get this black gold, you can buy it, but you pay a lot for it.
Of course.
And
it seems pretty simple to make, you know? I mean, you need one of these, you need the sifter at the bottom, but then all you just need is take your food waste and yard waste and throw it in the container and let Mother Nature and time, you know, do what it does. All right, so gentlemen, I hear that you guys don't use any harsh chemicals or anything in your fertilizer here. So what do you use to fertilize this place?
What we do is we pretty much create soil, and that's using a process called composting. And what that is pretty much we add, you know, kitchen scraps, grass clippings, dry browns like straw, add some moisture, add some kind of aeration, you know, keep things kind of flowing in there, and temperatures of up to 160 degrees can be created within the pile. And that just creates a really happy, fun environment for the microorganisms to grow and eat and make soil.
So tell me about the structure of this pile right here.
The structure is a lot like a cake, and like you said, it's going in an oven. So you're layering it up, and it's dries on wet, dry and green, brown and green, and it's a lot like a cake, and layer, and the moisture mostly on the top, on the dry stuff, leaking down, and it's like an oven. We pull a tarp over it, and it cooks, and microorganisms start eating everything up, breaking everything down, and then we'll flip it over. And all the moisture that sunk to the bottom is now on the top and going down and breaking it down again.
And in flipping it, we also add a lot of oxygen just to make sure things are kind of aerated in there.
Right on. So who came up with this? Like, how long have people been doing this?
I would say Mother Nature came up with this because it's just what happens, and it's how soil is created. And what we're doing is just channeling that and using it for our own purposes.
Like speeding up the process, basically.
Pretty much.
Well, the whole sustainable part about this retreat really comes close to heart to me because that's something that I do at home already, and it's part of my life already. You know, I just really love that there's the first step to sustainability is reducing your waste and reducing your consumption, and I think that that's a big focus here. You know, there's little signs everywhere asking you nicely to reduce your water consumption and think about, you know, how much you're using really in your daily life. So. And I think that's important because people just kind of forget, you know. You're just not used to having that thought. Or like everyone just kind of uses water and uses paper and uses napkins like without really thinking, you know, what's the impact of all that. So
some of the things that we do is we learn about composting, mulching, just gardening and weeding, and also something that I've been specifically working on is building the portable chicken coop. Which also helps with creating worms that'll help the soil so you can garden.
Hello.
Hey.
How's it going?
I'm good.
What is this?
This is actually like a future chicken coop.
This
So
is
we
a
can-
this is a chicken coop right here.
Yeah,
Okay.
it looks good, hey?
It's probably the most decorated chicken coop I've ever seen. Do happy chickens lay more eggs? Or
I think so. Happy chickens make better eggs too, I think.
is that true that happy chickens are more productive chickens?
Well, are you more productive when you're happy?
I am definitely more productive when I'm happy.
There you go.
So
It's the same for the animals.
yeah,
And I do believe if everything looks nice
yeah.
and has a feeling of beauty, temple-like, everybody around is more happy, and the chickens in there for sure too. And it's nice. Look at Chloe. It brings out her artist. That's
sure.
probably her first fall painting, and we just played around. We had some idea and say, what kind of colors would we use in order to merge it, blend it into the existing landscape.
Yeah.
And then they all had some fun. We got some great colors, and look at it, it's coming really out nice.
Yeah.
And it should be finished in 2 days because we have 8 chickens arriving.
Yeah.
And those chickens can give us enough eggs to feed some of our students, ourselves,
That's
and
good.
we don't have to go and buy them anymore.
That's very good, right?
Where'd you learn how to build a chicken coop?
Oh, what, from the internet?
Yeah, exactly.
No, yeah, a friend of ours just did some research and found a lot of different plans on the internet, and we just found one that looked nice and seemed like it would work well. And we're just trying it out. We're gonna see how it works. And
So this is a teak temple, and a big thing of what they preach here is to have spiritual relaxation and self-awareness. So right now I'm going to spend some time and meditate and be with my thoughts.
Embodied spirituality was the first part of my journey. I believe if I would have left out that journey, I could have never really discovered the sustainability on that level where I'm at now. And with some of the practices I learned, my body became more and more an instrument of prayer. So the embodied spirituality starts with loving yourself, understanding yourself, figuring out more what are your needs, where do you go. And once you have all of that, you automatically awaken the soul, which I call the eco-soul, the soul who cares for what's outside yourself, the water, the earth, the air, the nature. And suddenly you merge with it. You feel that you are not alone, that everything is interconnected. And when that consciousness awakes, the eco-soul, it is so much easier to take care of. It's not a must. It's not that somebody tells you, and you have to recycle, and you have to do that, and you have to set off your carbon footprint. It comes naturally from that awakened consciousness that you want to take care of the mother, of the environment, that you know with taking care, you're taking care of yourself as well, because there is no separation.
So let's take a look at embodied spirituality from a man's point of view. What does it have to do with my body? You'll notice that in our culture, our Western civilization culture is becoming more and more drug dependent, more stimulant dependent. We even have doctors giving our 6-year-olds mood enhancers. It's getting to be a bit serious, so I think everyone will agree with me. There's got to be a better alternative. It turns out that for thousands of years, spiritual masters have been telling us that the ultimate ecstasy is in here. And yes, you can seek outside for happiness, and it's beautiful there, but the ultimate ecstasy is in here. So the question begs, how to tap into that ecstasy? Well, for thousands of years, spiritual masters have talked about prayer and meditation, or be still and know I am God. Now, prayer is us talking to God, us rising to that level in vibration like Handel's Messiah. Meditation is allowing God to talk to us. And that is of supreme importance. So the reason embodied spirituality can be practiced from people of all religions is because there's really no golden calves. It just allows everyone equally. And they're simple techniques where you don't have to believe in anything. You experience it.
The spiritual core of my life is about being an example and living the way I want the world to live around me. So I'm living in a bamboo home and watching it grow around me and feeling a connection to it that's allowing the whole process to keep unfolding and on a very, very large scale international level now.
I have had a dream of putting on the point in the land where you overlook the ocean, a temple that would be honoring the traditions of the Hawaiians, the traditions of the cultures that have come to the Hawaiians, the Buddhism, the Christianity, and be a place where these traditions could come and mix with the beauty and the aina of the land. And that it would be a place that all could come and feel the essential unity of all spiritual calling.
And I just kind of wrote something while I was here, just from the experience and the people I've met and everything I've seen here. And this place is really conducive to creativity, so it's just, I thought I'd read it to you. For sustainability, I believe we can simply look to and learn from nature. All the other animals and plants take only what they truly need and give back in equal measure. So innocent of any greed, giving back all that they received.
All have a niche and a place where they uniquely contribute to the whole. But humans are unique. Just as we can take, deplete, and destroy far beyond any creature this planet has yet seen, so also can we contribute, create, and refresh far beyond measure, recreating our lost Eden and becoming stewards of balance. We have the technology, we have the power. All that is needed is the intention, the ideal of creating a beautiful, lasting, and sustaining home on this planet for ourselves and all life.
I receive from the earth. My body fills up with light. Deeply I connect with my core. Deep into
I had all sorts of fancy ideas. I thought it'd be a great place to educate children, you know, in the ancient Hawaiian tradition. But the name of this land is Resting Place of Mature Souls. It naturally attracts mature souls. And so it didn't work out with the kids. So we stayed with the mature souls. And it's interesting to note the mature souls we've attracted, like Ram Dass, Carlo Rinpoche, Franciscan monks, Buddhist monks, United States Army Special Forces. It does seem to be a natural place where mature souls can rest.
My name's Marilyn Tam, and I'm here at this beautiful resort. I can't really call it a resort, magical land, because I needed a break. I needed a break from my very hectic and busy world, but I didn't want to go to a standard vacation. But when you come to this beautiful Maui retreat, you drop into what really would be a rejuvenation, refreshing, transformative location, because you're getting in touch with the land. You're getting in touch with Maui. You're getting in touch with your own soul. So you get your body, your mind, and your spirit refreshed, and you feel like you're giving back and connecting with the place. It's not a vacation like most people think of a vacation, where you just take all your little worries and everything in your life and you just transport into another location. And you come back, you wonder why you're not refreshed. You said, I need a vacation for my vacation. But you come here, you go away truly feeling you have been transformed.
I'm a returning guest to this lovely place here on Maui because I need, and I feel that we all need, a place to connect with our true nature. And that happens when we have a situation where, an environment where we're conscious about nature and about our true selves, in the sense of being able to relax. A lot of environments that you go to in a lot of these hotels, it's like Joni Mitchell's song, pay paradise and put up a parking lot. There's this place here represents the connection with the sea, with the land, with all that of the mana that is of Hawaii, and really connects with the spirit of aloha, which is this love of the environment, this love really of our own self and of our own true nature.
So I've sort of had my mind changed on the definition of what a vacation should be since I've been here. Usually it's like you just want to go to an exotic place and you think that you're just going to change instantly. It's not like that. You have to sort of take some time and look within yourself. And the one thing that I think I'll take back above all else is harmony. It's important to balance your life, the stress and peace, self-awareness with frustration. This place reminds you to do that. In fact, it even forces you in some ways. And the best part is that while you're here, you're also contributing to an eco-friendly way of life.
I see the future of the bamboo farm as continuing to be the cauldron where the issues of how to get along, how to plant food, how to share the wisdoms that we're discovering, how to survive, how to be with the mother. I see that happening, that vision calling everybody. People come to visit as a B&B, people come to work and trade, people come to heal.
I remember a really interesting time in my life where I was invited to go to a conference in the Bay Area, and the conference was on spirit in business. And I thought, wow, that's great, let's go check it out. And I found myself among all those CEOs of great companies who desperately wanted to prove that they now are inviting spirit into their business plan. So I realized as I was hiding my business part in my bio, because I thought, gee, if people think I'm a business person, then they think I'm not spiritual. And vice versa, here were all those people, who desperately now wanted to bring in their spiritual self because they were viewed just as business people who are only go for greed and profit. You see, bridging is important. There is nothing separate. We all have to put it together, spirit and business, the earth and humans. We are in everything what we do, everything we are connected. If I do something right now here, it affects you over there. And if we become aware through our actions, what we do, and bring that consciousness in, then we have a chance to make this beautiful earth we call our home sustainable, loving, and we live in harmony and peace.
E ia ka pu'unui o waho nei la he ua, he ino, he anu, he koe ie, he kualoha e. Mahalo ki a kua no ke ia kai me ka ho'olawe a me ka aina mao. A me na moku o Hawaii ne. Aloha mai e, aloha mai e, aloha mai e, aloha mai e.